Hi, I'm Jessica Aston, and I wanted to talk to you briefly about my experience in studying for this research paper on multi-generational diversity. I was intrigued by this subject in our previous lessons for my communications class, where we discussed about the benefits of diversity. I learned that through diversity in the workforce, more innovation, creativity can occur, and then those things create opportunities for new products, new wealth, different systems, and better practices. There's a wide variety of options to study when it comes to diversity. As a woman, of course, I was intrigued with the concept of gender diversity. Also, I studied briefly in the concept of educational diversity. But the area that I spent the most time looking at was multi-generationals. And I found a fascination with this concept that there are multiple generations working in the same workforce, in the same companies, in the same organizations currently. My research led me to read about a variety of studies and research papers that discussed what happens when you bring together so many different ages. This time in our workforce is fascinating to me because we have such a variety. So what I did was I went to an organization that I frequent regularly, which is my children's elementary school. I am there every day, dropping kids off, picking them up. I thought, what a good place for me to see what multi-generational looks like in the workforce. So I spent a few hours on campus discussing this with teachers and educators, meaning those in like administration and aides, even down to the opportunity to talk to those that are more entry level, and also an experience where I was able to sit down and talk with the highest level on campus, which would be the principal. His point was that his organization has a huge variety of multi-generations. His oldest employee at the time, he, without looking at records and disclosing too much, he explained she was in her 60s. And then the youngest being right out of college, and those would be in a generation considered the millennials. He has a growing workforce of millennials, more and more employees that are found in that category. His older generation has been there for a while and do not intend to leave at this point. They have either passed retirement age for the school district or are closely approaching, and for them it's best to just remain there on the campus that they have worked hard to establish. Where these younger generations are just starting off, and so retention is super important in seeing how he can reach out to them and keep them employed within his school. One of the things that really stood out to me was how important the multi-generation concept is. He had a staff meeting that had everyone, administration, custodial, teachers, aides, all of them were there. And they were discussing the importance of security and safety. This happened to be the week that there was a threat at the elementary school. I'm sorry, not at the elementary school. There was a threat in the school district about a potential, I guess it was a potential threat is what I should say. And so all the schools were really focusing on looking at their safety. There was a high presence of police officers, and changes needed to be made to make the school safer for their consumers, which are basically their students. And so this conversation was multi-generational. So you had baby boomers in there who were talking about their ideas, things that they had seen, and then millennials who were just out of college and discussing with their ideas, their innovation, their thoughts on how to find a better practice. Everyone had a voice. There was definitely respect for all generations. There was a definite hierarchy of respect towards those that had been there longer, regardless of their position. Their expertise was considered an important aspect of the discussion. But there was a lot of opportunities to listen to new ideas and thoughts from those that were not familiar with the ingrained culture or the traditions. Overall, it was a great experience for me to see firsthand how multi-generations can work in a workforce and see how that diversity can really play on making a better environment for everyone and basically create a better product. Overall, my favorite quote was the principal pointing out that he needs all these ideas. He needs the diversity in order to be successful. And I appreciated him being willing to share that with me because it opened my eyes to the opportunities that diversity can provide in the workforce. Thank you.